Hi, this is Sherry Veronica. The education institutions in Barbados is the perfection of slavery. There are many institutions in Barbados that show how slavery was perfected there, and the education institution is one of them. Okay, now they're saying that they're going to do away with the 11 plus. I heard, well, I saw in your news, Chad Blackman, he's the new education minister, but he's involved in education and the process and how children are treated at a tender age, where there's hatred that is part of the education institutions in Barbados. It creates a hatred. No one, I'm going to say this, no one in this world can say that a child who attended Harrison College, for example, does not feel that they're better than a child going to Springer, for example. No one in this world can or should convince you of anything different, okay? Kids going to Harrison College feel and believe within the core of who they are. The core, you know what the core is? The core of who they are, that they are better than kids going to a lesser school. And that is why slavery is perfected within the education system in Barbados. It should never be. It should never be, but it is. And you teach your kids at the tender age of 9, 10, because that's when you start to study. Your parents push you to study, and if they have a bit more money, they can pay for lessons. They start to teach you at a tender age how to hate. It's called classism. Okay, you can dress it up like that. That makes you feel better that you're in a different class. You know, like you're better. You're living in a better neighborhood, That your hair is better. You have a better grain of hair. You like that? Do you like that? I'm sure you do. I am sure you do. This is how slavery and the perfection of it shows up in Barbados. Now, let's hope that Chad Blackman doesn't replace one insult with another. Okay, let's hope he does not do that. Let's hope it's not the same old thing, but smells a little different, maybe look a little different, but it's the same old crap, the same old slavery-minded stuff that is going on there. Let's hope that Chad Blackman sees fit to teach Barbadian children about the history and slavery. Let's hope that that can become part of the curriculum. Let's hope that they can get away from what the colonial masters deemed fit for them to be taught. And let's hope that education reflects what is needed in Barbados. It has to reflect what is needed, how kids can make a living after they leave schools, and if they want to go on to colleges and that kind of stuff. Everything has to be tailor-made, tailor-fitted for kids being born in Barbados because of the trauma that still is there. Whether they see it or not, you have to let them know it's there. Okay, they're born in a place that's drenched with blood. Okay, blood, fear, sorrow, everything else that creates the trauma-based place where you live. Let's hope Chad Blackman teaches, let's hope he allows the children to be taught about their past. Let's hope there's no better school, no lesser school. I've been here in America most of my life. even when you hear about the Ivy League colleges, not high schools or anything like that, just colleges, you don't think as though those people attending Ivy League schools are better than you. There's no thought of that. It's just that they may have parents that have money and sometimes they pay for the kids to go to school. But there's no feeling that person has a better degree than your degree. It's a level playing field. And a lot of places you go, people from all kinds of colleges, once you have that degree in that particular area, it's represented. It's represented. It's an even sort of playing field, okay? No matter what they say. We're not talking about what they're saying, because if they're gonna look at the elites, that's a different ballgame. If you're gonna look at the elites, that's the people who run this thing, that's a whole different ballgame. When you get down to the nitty gritty and you're working with people and you're starting to commiserate and you compare apples with apples, it's a level playing field. Doesn't matter what school you've been to. That's not the case in Barbados, and this is an area where slavery has been perfected there. Okay, you can talk to someone who's been to Commermere, for example, and they could have been to Commermere maybe 30 years ago. They still have that feeling that they're better than kids who did not make it to Commermere. It's something that affects them at the core. And you would think that talking to them, they would have changed along the way, or they could see the folly of their ways and they could have pulled out of it. Can't. So let's hope that whatever this whole blog is about, mixed feelings for someone last day. I'm not even dealing with that. I just saw the photo, just saw the kids leave. It's the end of it's a closed chapter. They're moving off to college and going on with their lives. But I wanted to talk about what Chad is going to be doing, and he's saying that the 11 plus is going to be reimagined or done away with. I don't know, but let's hope he teaches. Let's hope he allows children to be taught about their slave history, where they came from, and let's hope that education is streamlined to serve children as they grow. Let's hope that they're learning something in a field that they want to move into as they grow up. And if they don't know what they want to be, you can have it like an expansive type of curriculum for those kids that are still deciding what they want to be, where they need to go and look at to see what fits for them. Let's hope it is very open. Let's hope there's no classism. Let's hope there's no stigma. Let's hope he doesn't allow the hatred to start from the time they're kids. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Let's hope that he can fix this, because like I said, in Barbados, they teach children to hate each other from the time they are 9, 10-ish. They start to pull away, because some may be going to lessons and they're talking about their parents are forcing them to pass for a certain school. Let's hope that Chad Blackman can create a whole different type of mentality within the young people's domain. Let's hope he can do that, and maybe the gangsters and the people who are robbing and lying, the young kids now, and the prison population, maybe that can reflect the changes that he's going to make. Maybe in the future, the crime in Barbados would simmer, and it would be a reflection of what Chad Blackman has done to make children experience what it is to be a child, an innocent, for as long as that can happen. Let's hope that Chad Blackman can create a happiness around, just a happiness situation for children going to school, that they don't have to worry that another child is looking down on them because of a stupid 11 plus that the colonial white people instituted, that even when they went to England, they had to stop it because they weren't going to have that in England to traumatize their kids. So they pulled away from that in England, but it continued on in Barbados, where they come and they look and they see. It's everything. Everything is being watched and they see. They see what you are, who you are, and I tell you, the day that this earth needs building up again and fixing, they know where to come. They're gonna know where to come. So with Chad on board and talking about reimagining education and children's immersion into secondary schools and that kind of stuff, let's hope that he can put a kick in the elites spokes when they're thinking about coming back to fetch you to do whatever they need to have done at cheap wages. Let's hope he can put some kind of roadblock in that, because the children are going to be thinking. They're going to be thinking, and they're going to understand that one child is not better than the other child because one child's parents may have a little bit more money. It doesn't make them better. They should still work together, and if one child understands math, they can teach the other child who is having a problem and struggles with it. They can teach that child, and the child who understands how to put sentences together and they understand comprehension and they're really good at it, they can teach that child who's struggling with putting sentences together. Let's hope that Chad Blackman can bring in a system where children work together instead of looking down on each other and hating each other and embracing classism. And it's just a make-believe word for, hatred. It's just hatred. Okay? This is Sherry Veronica.
Help me spread the word about Naked Departure via social media. Subscribe and share to show support and love for our channels.